Senate Republicans hoping to fast-track the president's Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, before Election Day could be sidelined by the coronavirus. At least two Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Utah's Mike Lee and North Carolina's Thom Tillis, have tested positive for COVID-19, casting uncertainty on the timing of the judge's confirmation. A handful of other senators are self-isolating after being exposed to their infected colleagues. CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy Cortez joins me now to break down the impact of these infections. Welcome, Nancy. Thanks very much for joining us. First of all, where do things stand on Judge Barrett's potential confirmation process?
It is full steam ahead, Elaine. Lindsey Graham, who's the chair of the Judiciary Committee, he was in a debate on Friday night. He said he's got a job to do, and he's going to do it. Senate Leader Mitch McConnell just reiterated that on the Senate floor. He said they're not going to hold off on a vote simply because some Democrats are afraid that they're going to lose that vote. And there's no reason, logistically, that they can't start holding these hearings next Monday, even if a couple of their members are still quarantined or in isolation at that time. What really matters is if those individuals are still in isolation when it comes time for the final vote. Just a few minutes ago, we actually got the official notice from the Senate Judiciary Committee announcing that it has scheduled this hearing. It will begin 9 a.m. on October 12th, a week from today.
Well, Nancy, ultimately, when you look at Democrats, even if they can delay Judge Barrett's confirmation, do they actually have the tools to block it?
If they do, they're not letting on, and we know of nothing in the rules right now that indicates that they can hold this vote up indefinitely, unless there are some Senate Republicans who are missing. In that case, Democrats would have some options, but assuming that there are enough Senate Republicans to confirm her and that they're well enough to come into the Senate to vote, then no, there isn't much that Democrats can do.
You know, Nancy, I'm curious, what is the mood like among lawmakers and staffers on Capitol Hill with word of this virus circulating in their ranks?
There's definitely concern that additional senators or members of the House could end up getting infected. But the three Senate Republicans who we know have tested positive for the virus, at least two of them seem pretty chipper. We've heard from an aide to Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina, who says that he had one remaining symptom last night, which was a loss of a sense of taste and smell. But now today, 24 hours later, his taste and smell have returned, so he is symptom-free. And then Senator Ron Johnson, who never had symptoms to begin with but tested positive on Friday, he told a radio host that he's going to stay in isolation for now, but that he feels fine. In fact, he argued that there's mass hysteria out in the public about COVID, and he said we need to get back to work. In fact, he said that if he needs to come and vote in a moon suit in order to move Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation process along, he will. The third senator is a bit of a question mark. Mike Lee of Utah, he started having symptoms on Thursday. We haven't gotten as much information out of his office. His communications director told me yesterday that Senator Mike Lee is good. But when I just asked today for any update on his condition or his symptoms, I was told no update. So we know very little about what his symptoms might be right now, whether he's getting better or worse.
All right. Well, it's important to note, amid the comment about mass hysteria, again, you've had more than 200,000 people in the United States dead from this disease. It's really important to keep that in mind. Meantime, Nancy, it's the question I always ask you. Where do things actually stand right now when it comes to negotiations for a coronavirus relief deal? We've talked time and time again about the massive economic fallout. Is there any hope that aid could be coming before the election?
Well, Speaker Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin met again for about an hour today to talk about all of this. They spoke on the phone, rather. They exchanged some numbers, but we're told by Speaker Pelosi's communications director that there really wasn't much notable progress to report. They're going to talk again tomorrow. So the talks continue, which is a good sign. They aren't throwing in the towel. They feel that there is room still to negotiate. But I have to tell you that finding common ground between these two individuals is only one of the hurdles that stands in the way of getting coronavirus relief before Election Day. You need the Senate Republicans in particular, to go along with whatever they agree on, which will almost certainly be carry a much higher price tag than what Senate Republicans wanted to do just this summer. And then beyond that, you're going to need to bring both the House and the Senate back to vote on this. Remember, the House has left for the month of October, and so there is some risk involved with having everyone fly back simply to take this vote. Some lawmakers may be reluctant to do so because they're in the middle of campaigning for re-election, and same goes for the Senate side. They're now on a 2-week hiatus as well. Senate Leader Mitch McConnell sent them home. So if there is some kind of a breakthrough that could be put in legislative language, all of those senators would have to come back and vote on it as well.
All right, Nancy Cordes in Washington for us. Nancy, thank you very much.
You're welcome.